Good morning everyone and welcome to this week's studio vlog. This is actually the studio vlog. I said welcome to this week's studio vlog in my little mini catch-up video, but obviously wasn't in the studio for that, so it doesn't really count. So I think this is video number 16, which is exciting. It's 7:45, so still pretty early and it's pretty dark outside today. The weather is not looking very nice. Finally, Georgia is cold, so it does feel a little bit more like Christmas now. Oh, my ring light decided to go off. Got it plugged in to my computer because I'm running out of plugs. Oh, it might come on again now. Let's see. Oh, so bright. Okay, we're good. So yeah, finally Georgia is cold, but it's also really wet, and I'm glad that we've got this weather this week rather than last whilst I was away. And it also just feels a bit like Christmassy and cozy, which I'm happy with. I'm all right with it at the moment. We don't often get days like these, so I'm all right. Well, I just thought I could just do a little bit of chatting this morning with a couple of life updates. And then I'll just show you, I think in this vlog my plan is to show you, I'm just going to keep talking because my computer's updating and the ring light is going on and off. I'll just leave it. We're okay, you can see me, I'm still visible. Anyway, so the plan for this vlog is to give you a bit of a life update, tell you some things, and then I'm going to spend some time showing you the various Christmas things that I've been making, because our original plan was to go back to England this year for Christmas. We had no Christmas decorations out in the States. This is Jamie and I's first Christmas not at one of our homes. Last year we were at his mum's. Yeah, the year before he was at his mum's, I was at my parents', and we were just about to get married. So yes, long story short, we thought we were going back. All my Christmas jumpers, all my festive outfits, I've got glittery tights and everything. It's all back at home because last year I shipped it all out to the US and I didn't really wear it until I got back home, and I was like, well, that was silly, so I'll just leave it in England because I'll be back before Christmas and I can just pick it up again. No, but never mind. So this year, Mickey is my Christmas jumper, but it's very comfy, so we're going with it. So I've gone into a bit of a hyper decorating as a result. I love decorating, I love making things, I love getting a little bit crafty. I find it really relaxing. I was watching Zoe Suggs, Zoella's Vlogmas, and she calls it pottering, and she was like, I just love to potter and rearrange shelves and it makes me feel really happy, and I was like, yes, that is me. I love doing all of that stuff. I think it comes with not having children as well, because we don't have kids yet, and I think when you have kids, pottering is probably less fun. But because I can do what I like, I just potter around. So decorating the Christmas tree was amazing. So we've got a real tree. So I have done some reading into real versus fake and the eco advantages, disadvantages, and obviously cutting down a tree and taking it home is not the best thing to do, but I didn't want to get a plastic tree that we would outgrow and that would just end up either looking a bit sad in some other room or get thrown out, because there's a lot of plastic and they are not recyclable. So we've gone for a real tree. We haven't gone for one in a pot. So then I went down such a rabbit hole. I found companies that you can rent Christmas trees from, and I'm so keen to do that when we go back to England. So they come delivered to you in a pot, and then you can get the same one back for a couple of years. I think it's up to 7 years, and at 7 years old they get retired and they go off to the Christmas tree farm to live out their days as a lovely tree. I love that. It'd be like having a mate coming round if you get to know your tree. So I think we're probably going to try and do that when we're set up back in England. And some news on that front as well is that we've got our posting where we're going to be next. So we are going to be in Bristol, and I'm really excited because that's where we wanted to be. So it's quite nice to just know that now, because it means that I can actually start cracking on with looking for my next step. And I think, I'm not sure if I've mentioned this in previous studio vlogs or not, but my plan at the moment is to train as a teacher and to do that as my job. My like educational / CV background is very random, kind of. So I did a geography degree, which is what I would teach in, and then I did a history of art masters because I really wanted to go to art college, but I didn't. I ended up doing geography, which I did really enjoy, and I ended up doing a lot of like stuff that was twinned with it, and I had an amazing teacher that had done the opposite to me. She did a history of art degree and then did a like geography based masters, so I was really lucky. So yeah, then I did history of art at Leeds, and then got back home and I was applying for lots of like postgraduate, they're like application things, and I really wanted to go into like buying and merchandising. So I looked into that, but the testing for it was really difficult for me. I'm dyslexic, which in like most things doesn't really like, especially in my business, it doesn't affect my everyday, and I'm pretty confident in my own ability, and I know where I need help, and I've done enough kind of academic stuff now that I'm like, I know my workarounds. But the psychometric testing is not my best friend. I could do it. I think I would just need to do it in a really low pressure environment with like no timer, and I would have to like train a lot to be able to do it. Which anyway, I don't like talking about barriers and stuff, but sometimes you just have to be realistic and say, like, you know what, that way of testing is not for me. And it's unfortunate because I probably would be really good at a lot of jobs that test that way. It's just not going to be my entry. So I ended up going to see a recruiter, and they then put me in touch with a PR company that was local to where my mum and dad were, because I had no money after my masters. So I moved back down with my parents and started working in PR, and that's what I did until I moved out to America. So I moved into London with it, and yeah, come back out here. The work I really enjoyed. Like, I like being creative, I like thinking of ideas. It's high pressure, it's high turnover of work, and I went from a very small company to a much bigger company, and I learned so much. But what I really actually enjoyed was the people side of it. And yeah, long story short, basically kind of felt like I was looking for something new, and then Jamie's America job came up, and we were like, well, let's go for that adventure. And they came out here and had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. So spent a few months settling in, started volunteering at the riding centre, which I now work at on a Monday, and the rest is sort of history. You guys are with me on this journey. I realise I haven't really talked that much about it, but I don't really talk that much about military life either. I think that was my speaker. It's all going on today, isn't it? I apologise. So yeah, I don't really talk about military life either. I think because I'm very new to it, I almost feel like I don't have the experience to talk about it yet. So I've been married for nearly 2 years, and we've been out here for nearly 2 years. Yeah, I get a bit awkward talking about it because I almost feel like it's not my story to tell, because it's Jamie's job, not mine. Like, the reason why we're out here is his work, and I'm out here to support him and be with him. But also at the same time, like, I'm out here because I wanted to see America and travel and yeah, be with him, but do that side of the adventure with him. So I kind of feel a bit like I don't have much to say about military life yet, because it's been quite nice for us so far, or quite nice for me anyway. Like, it was harder when we weren't living together and he was posted to various different places all over the UK, and like long distance was worse. But living out here is pretty nice. We have a nice place to live. We have really lovely friends, and yeah, so next year is going to be an interesting one. I think that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about it here, is because next year is obviously the year that we move back, So we'll be back at some point, maybe in June. It's all TBC, such as life, such as COVID life, such as army life at the moment. I would start my course in September, so there's a few months there to get like settled and sorted. But I kind of wanted to mention it because next year is going to be a bit all over the place with that stuff, and I'd love you guys to know about it and to be able to take you on that journey with me and feel like I can share it, because yes, this is my studio vlog, yes, this is about my business, but that's an important factor of my business, and the fact that I am married to somebody in the military is a massive factor to why I want to make Tree Kind Art work, because I can take this business with me wherever I go, wherever we get posted, whether it's abroad again, whether it's back to the UK, whether it's all around the UK. If I get myself set up, it can move with me, and it can just be like a little friend that I have to help me. And I really have felt like that this year, that Tree Kind Art has been a safe place that I can focus and feel purposeful and busy and creative, and it's been so good for my head, because not being able to go home, not being able to see family, not being able to see like friends back at home, if it had happened last year, I think I would have struggled a lot more, whereas this year, because I have this, because Jamie and I have our life, we are pretty well settled, I could cope with it a lot better. It was kind of okay. So yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm talking about anymore. I'm not really sure how this relates to anything, but I just wanted to give you guys a little life update. Sometimes it's good at the end of the year just to be like, you know what, this is how it looks. I'm actually not really sure what the schedule for studio vlogs is going to look like over the next couple of weeks, because obviously next week is Christmas week, so maybe there'll be a little one, and then it's obviously New Year's, so perhaps I'll be doing a studio vlog in between. But also, I'm not expecting a huge amount of like action on my Etsy shop or anything in the next couple of weeks. I had an order come in last night, but that was from a friend, so that's my thing to do today. Yeah, and then what else can I talk to you about? Maybe I could just talk to you very quickly about some goals. Yeah, let's talk about some goals. So I'm a patron of Emily Harvey, and it's one of my favourite things that I've done this year. It's become one of her patrons. She provides a lot of content for us, and she gives us a lot of, you should think about this, and then we all go off and think about it, and then we chat amongst ourselves on the Discord. But she like gives a lot of guidance, and every month we have a Zoom catch up, which is always so useful, and I always feel really motivated after it, and I always feel like I've learned something new. So anyway, this week we had it on Monday, yeah, and it was all about goals, and she made us this sheet that has like a 2020 review at the top, 2021, and then like goals in different sections. So it's set up in a really nice way, because I'm terrible at setting goals. I am so bad. I get really nervous about it, even if it's just to me. So I have this like self-help journal, something like that. Self-journal, best self-journal. And at the start it has like setting goals that you want to work towards, and then you kind of like check in with yourself each week of what you're doing, and you can write a timetable. And I always use the like planning pages, but I find the goals pages really stressful. So actually having it broken down into smaller sections has been really useful. So yeah, that's kind of like a bit of a tip for me. If you find goals daunting, you're not alone. Some people are like, I love setting goals because I don't know exactly where I want to be. And I'm like, I hate setting goals because I like to be able to like wiggle a bit. But I also know that I can do that too much, and I do need some structure, because otherwise I'm like, here, there, over here. Which is just how my brain works. And some people don't understand that, and that's fine. Anyway, so the like main sections that she's broken up for you are the goals section. So there's productivity, social media, marketing, my skills, financial, and other. And you have to try and put 3 in each box. So most of mine are upskilling my SEO and learning how to use things like Pinterest for marketing and things like that, because in PR I didn't really do the SEO stuff. I wasn't so much on the digital marketing side. I did a lot more of like the content creation and writing and client relationships. So I was more like writing articles and helping at events than campaigns for social media. And I kind of regret that now because I think it would have been a really good skill to learn, but I also know that it's not my strongest skill. So I want to go and upskill there. Should I say skill again? I don't think I've said it enough. So it's things like, yeah, SEO, Pinterest, planning some content in advance, same with YouTube, actually trying to like plan my videos out in advance so that I can say to you next week I'm going to be talking about blah, because I think that will help rather than just saying, hi, I'm doing a vlog because I've had a week. Which is how I feel sometimes it goes. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing today. Cool. And everyone must be like, we don't care what you're doing, so work it out. Anyway, so yeah, planning, and I'd really like to try and build a website. I'm saying it out loud because that's like my biggest one, because I've had to like play around with Wix and like GoDaddy and stuff like that. I think because my business is so small, I get scared of spending fees. I get scared of like monthly fees because like any cost that goes out, I need to try and make up with my Etsy sales. And November was a really good month for me, but before November, I wasn't getting regular enough sales to be able to cover a subscription fee. Not confidently, and the cost of materials and running an Etsy shop and the Etsy fees and everything. I didn't have enough coming in to be able to be like, yes, I can definitely spend $10 a month on a subscription. So I would really like to get to a point where I can, and I feel confident that I'm running that, because I know that if I had my own website, it would help feed that revenue stream. But it's a bit chicken and egg, because I'm like, do I just take the plunge before I can afford it? Or should I try and get to a place where I can afford it and then do it? Do you know what I mean? And also, I'm not big enough yet. Like, Etsy still brings in quite a lot of my traffic. There's no reason not to try. And I also think that even if it's not a shoppable platform at that, even if it's not a shoppable platform at that point, I'd love to be able to write a blog about what's going on, like an actual written thing. Because, as I said before, being dyslexic, I have noticed that my writing skills have gone downhill since I've not been using them as much. I used to write all the time, every day at work, and having moved out here, changed life, changed kind of profession, I know my writing is much poorer, and I would really like to get that to a point where I'm more confident. So writing a blog would be quite a good way to do that. And yeah, I've been talking for such a long time. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna wrap this up because God knows what I've said. God knows what's gonna be kept in. But yeah, what I'm gonna do is give you a quick tour of the Christmas house stuff. And maybe then that'll be the end of the studio vlog and this can just be like a super chatty one. That would be quite fun. And then it's done today. Because you guys have already seen me packing orders and stuff. You know what's up with that. Yeah, okay, let's do that. I'll take you with me. Okay. So I'm gonna start with the Christmas tree because look how glorious it is. I'm actually so pleased. You get a little tour of my flat at the same time. So, as I was saying earlier with real versus fake trees, we've also had a bit of a dilemma as to what we want to put on it. So basically everything on the tree is essentially biodegradable. So I made a massive paper chain out of all the scrap paper from my business. So that's gone all the way around the tree. I also had some red card that I used to use for background of photos, but I don't really use it anymore because I've got a different setup. So I made little bunting. I have dried so many oranges. I've got oranges and we've got grapefruit. I keep wanting to call them pomegranates, but I think it's not pomegranates at all. Oh, and I've got a couple of chilies that I've dried as well. And then these decorations that are just little trees. They're all wooden and some glittery ones. I got those from Lidl. Lidl was a great time. And then yeah, these little houses probably will look familiar. I use them quite often in my props for my photos. Those were from just Target. And then loads of lights in it and a bow from the Dollar Tree. So that's pretty good. And then over here we just have more fairy lights because you can never have enough, and more dried oranges. Yeah, I mean, it looks quite festive. I honestly, I went to town with the oranges. Sorry about the kitchen and the washing up. So I've got a poinsettia, which is nice. Some more garland up there. And my little mistletoe. Yeah, so it looks quite festive. That's my little place, if you're interested. It's very nice. And in the studio I have fairy lights that I've kind of budged to one side because I wanted to still be able to get out of the doors. And then more of the bunting, little paper bunting that I made. And what I did is just to space it out, I just stuck a bit of tape. Yeah, this one's like the front. Like a tiny bit of washi tape on the back so that it all just spaces out and doesn't just randomly fall together, which can happen. And then that's my little desk. Got my little festive plant. Yeah. So that's basically everything. I don't really know what else to do for this video now. I've talked for such a long time. I think what I'm gonna do is wrap it up and then it's out there. And then what I would love to do is I've had a couple of really lovely messages recently about my recent Instagram flat lays and posts, and I'd love to do a little how I get them to look like that kind of video. So I think that's going to be in the pipeline. I don't think that's going to be this week because I've got some other stuff to do, but maybe that's one that I can sneak in between Christmas and New Year if there's a break. A break in relaxing and eating chocolate. I just don't like filming when there's other people in the house, so when Jamie's here I'm like, I can't film any videos because I don't want you to hear me. Which is really pathetic because if you can't talk in front of your husband, who can you talk in front of? It's different when you're on camera, isn't it? Anyway, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get some work done. I need to write my personal statement for my uni application. I mean, I have written it, but I need to refine it and get an order done. And yeah, basically, I think I'm gonna make this the video. So thanks for listening. Thank you for chatting. And it's really nice to be back with you all. Thank you so much for, if you've watched the video up to this point, if you stayed throughout all my ramble, thank you. Should we do that thing where people put an emoji at the end if they've made it to the end? Yeah, let's do that. So if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, let me know in the comment by putting a little Christmas tree emoji or an orange. Yeah, no, we'll do a Christmas tree. I like that on other people's, it's fun, and you can be part of a secret little club. And I'm wishing you all a very Merry Christmas if I don't talk to you before now. Before then. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get on with some stuff and I'll catch up with you soon. Okay, bye.